My name is Jessica Baker and I'm from Woodstock, New York. This is called Posthumous Collection I. I have several in the series. This is the first one I created, and this was created using decks of playing cards. I unexpectedly became the primary caregiver for my mother in the last 2 years of her life, and at that time she was suffering from Parkinson's disease and something called Lewy body dementia. And so at the end of her life, she would play with, touch, and then eventually just hold and maybe tear cards. She used to play cards. So this was something that she did, I think, as a soothing technique at the end of her life, especially when she lost language. She would sit with them all day and play with them and tear them. And when she would tear apart enough of one deck, I would throw them all in a box and give her a new deck. So this was a series of, I believe it's 9 decks. Well, kind of 10 decks, because the last bottom row is 2 decks. But it's basically 10 decks of cards that I repaired after she passed away. I brought them all into my studio. I brought all the cards and I sorted them. I started to stitch them together. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just repairing the cards. And she did a lot of embroidery in her life. So I had all this embroidery thread from her, and so I started to use the embroidery thread not only to repair them, but to stitch the different decks together, and I laid them all out on a table, and then it became this tapestry of cards that my mother played with and then kind of slowly took apart at the end of her life. So I kind of repaired them and put them back together with her embroidery thread. And on the back you can see that there are full decks, except for the bottom line row, which I had to use 2 to make a full row, and then the holes are where the cards were missing. I would replace some of the cards with jokers if I didn't have the actual card, but obviously there were just some that went missing and I didn't have them, so that's why there are holes in the piece. There was something cathartic about repairing the things that she tore apart, especially because she was just this incredible person in her lifetime. She was creative, she was a scientist, she did so many things. She had so many hobbies, including embroidery, including knitting, including, collecting shells. And so taking all of these things and into my studio and then repairing like maybe the things that really came apart at the end somehow was a cathartic experience that maybe helped with the grieving process. So yeah, maybe the answer is yes. I really stopped making artwork when I started becoming a caregiver, and this was not what I was doing before, but this is sort of my first foray into doing stuff with textile and embroidery thread and things that my mother left behind.